Good morning. Today is a very special day, May 2nd, 2021. Today marks the end, the closing of another chapter in the history of Church of the Oaks. Church that has been in existence since 1901. This building's been here since 1907. It's had many chapters throughout its history. But this last 14 months of history, this chapter, comes to a close today. And I'm so glad. Today, hopefully, means the last time that I'm going to have to give a message to an empty room and a camera. Next Sunday starts a brand new chapter in the story of Church of the Oaks. We will be again opening our doors at 11 a.m. You are all welcome. But I'd like to talk today a little bit about these last 14 months. Our story of Church of the Oaks is certainly different. And I'm sure that each one of us, our story, our truth, has changed. We have all, every one of us, experienced fear, anxiety, depression. Many of us have felt victimized. As we look with empathy around us, we see all of the suffering, not only from the virus, but from the economic struggle and misery that so many in this world are suffering, have suffered. The overwhelm of how to pay the rent and get groceries, put gas in the car, keep up the insurance. Daunting overwhelm. This hibernation period that we have gone through, it's caused each of our stories to change. And by that, your story, your truth, is not the events and the experiences that you've had these past 14 months, but your story, your truth, is who and what you have become because of these events and experiences. You know, the overwhelm of it is just more than some people could handle. Some people have almost slipped the surly bonds of sanity. I know we all experienced the stark terror in March and April last year when we went to the store and there was no toilet paper. That hasn't happened since World War II. I remember my mother telling the story of when she got out of high school in 1944. She lived for the next couple of years until she met and married my father with her stepbrother and his wife. Toilet paper was rationed, hard to get. My uncle kept the toilet paper locked up in his roll-top desk, and he parceled it out. For the ladies in the household, 2 sheets for number 1, 6 squares for number 2. everything was hard to get in the Second World War. Rationed gas, sugar, groceries, tires, anything manufactured. Well, this time wasn't quite so bleak, but was what was equally as bleak as the Second World War. So many people lost their lives, so much sickness and suffering. And that had impact on every single one of us. All of us, every one of us is a different person today than we were 14 months ago. Next week, we start a new chapter for Church of the Oaks. And I'm thinking next week we could each start a new chapter in our own personal story, in our own truth. You know, I wore an aloha shirt today, Hawaiian shirt. Aloha means hello, it means goodbye. Goodbye to this last chapter, and hello to a new chapter with unlimited possibilities. So I'm going to give you an assignment for this week, my friends. I'm going to ask that each of you really think about your story, your truth, who you are, how you have changed in these last 14 months, what this pandemic, what this social condition, what effect it has had on who you are, what you are. Some of us have perhaps grown much stronger. I hope that all of us have been able to, in some way, redefine value. What is truly valuable in our lives? And some of us, I'm sure, have become victims. It's just been too much. And I have an idea. Stories have much greater value once they're told. And I've been trying to think about how each of us could share what these last 14 months have meant in our personal truth, how our story has changed. How can we share that with each other? I'm not sure that it'll fit in a Sunday service as part of a message, but perhaps over the coming weeks, as we get together in the fellowship hall after church, perhaps we might care to share some of our stories, some of what we learned. We don't have to share the experiences, but what impact those experiences have had on us, both positive and negative. And the positive things that we've been able to learn and experience and grow with, perhaps that will give light or give courage or give encouragement to those who have had less positive changes in their lives. Maybe some very positive changes. Maybe that will give them the light that will allow them to transcend being victimized by this last year and a half. That's the beauty and the power and the value of community, is being able to share our stories, to share what we've learned, to share our strengths, our time, our talent, our thought, and our treasure with each other. So that as we continue writing a new chapter of history for this church, we can continue together to write a new chapter for each of our individual lives. I look forward to next Sunday. The possibility. It's not going to be the same old, same old. It's going to be different because we're different. And so it shall be, and so it is. Aloha.